제10회
Let us begin the 10th International Arctic Shipping Seminar. I'm Ki-tae Kim of Yongsan Institute of Arctic Logistics. I'll be today's MC for today's seminar. Every December, the Institute of Arctic Logistics has hosted the Arctic Shipping Seminar with the support of the Ministry of Oceans and Fisheries. This year's theme is Arctic shipping infrastructure, key issues and prospects. This would serve as an opportunity for you to look into the issues and the prospects of the Arctic shipping infrastructure. Now, I would like to invite Deputy Minister Ki Do-um of Oceans and Fisheries for his opening remarks. Distinguished guests, I'm Ki-do, Deputy Minister of Oceans and Fisheries of the Republic of Korea. I would like to express my gratitude to everyone for attending the 10th International Arctic Shipping Seminar, virtually and in person despite the difficult circumstances due to the pandemic. The Arctic Shipping Route has attracted a lot of attention from many countries around the world, including Europe and Asia, as it offers the shortest route from Asia to Europe, as well as the massive natural resources in the region. In particular, after the Suez Canal accident in March this year, the Arctic shipping route, or Northern Sea route, began to be reevaluated as an alternative to the existing route connecting Asia and Europe. Russia is exporting natural gas produced in the area along the Northern Sea route to Asia and Europe. And when the second LNG project, Arctic 2 LNG, is completed in 2023, the annual export volume is expected to reach 37 million tons. December last year, the Norwegian government announced that it would implement its long-term Arctic policy and published the Arctic White Paper containing policies on development and economic plan and strategies regarding the Arctic region. The Korean government also enacted the Act on Promoting Activities in the Polar Regions in October this year, laying the groundwork to promote economic activities such as entering the Arctic shipping route and securing a framework for systematic development of Korea's polar activities. Despite these possibilities and prospects, the prospects for the route are not entirely optimistic. For the long navigation between Europe and Asia, the Northern Sea route does not offer any stopover, so it is considered not economically feasible for liners, and some global companies and large European carriers have declared that they will not use the Northern Sea route due to the environmental concerns. Against this backdrop, views on and prospects for the Northern Sea route are mixed, but we must continue to prepare ourselves for the future. The opening of the Suez Canal in 1869, about 150 years ago, had faced significant challenges, and there was no guarantee for success. However, Jules Verne's masterpiece Around the World in 80 Days, released 3 years after the completion of the canal, considered the canal as the greatest contributor to changing the course of world history with a reckless, challenging spirit. Although the current Northern Sea route has many issues to be addressed, in order to be fully commercialized, someday will emerge as a logistic route in consideration of climate change, and we must seize the opportunity. Today, we are here to explore the possibilities of the Northern Sea route and identify ways to take advantage of it. I look forward to active discussions and policy suggestions from experts at today's seminar. Lastly, I wish all of you every good luck and success. Thank you for your time and attention.
은기도 차관님이
Thank you very much, Vice Minister. And now we will hear from the Norwegian Ambassador Solberg to Korea for his congratulatory remarks.
Thank you for once again inviting me to take part in the Arctic Partnership Week. I look forward to this important event every December. This is a key platform for collaboration between the Republic of Korea and Norway, and an important forum to discuss bilateral, regional, and multilateral cooperation with our Arctic partners. The Arctic is high on my government's agenda, and needless to say, Arctic shipping is a central part of this interest. It's therefore an honor for me to open the 10th International Arctic Shipping Seminar, and I would like to thank the Ministry of Oceans and Fisheries for your engagement. In this regard, along with many others, let me also extend my thanks to Director General J.U. John from the Ministry of Oceans and Fisheries, Mr. Justin Kim, Acting President of the Korean Maritime Institute, and not least, Professor Song Won Hong from Yongsan University for your participation. Dear friends, in the Arctic, Norway's international and domestic interests meet. 1/3 of our mainland territory is within the Arctic Circle. It's home to 10% of our population. And not least, the northern part of Norway has a long tradition of sustainable management of resources. The region is at the forefront of research and green industrial development. But it's also the region most affected by climate change in our country. New observations show that the Arctic is warming 3 times faster than the global average. For the Arctic communities and ecosystems, the consequences will be felt the strongest. One of the consequences of the rise in temperatures is the decrease in sea ice. This, together with the development of ice-breaking capacity in the shipping, has opened for more traffic between the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans. However, there is still uncertainty whether the Northeast Passage is feasible for shipping, both in the short and long term. Anyway, for Norway, it is important that any discussion about the Northeast Passage pays close attention to legal, political, and environmental issues. And let me underline one important point. It is important that all activity in the Arctic is in line with the law of the sea. Respect for international law and freedom of navigation remains fundamental. International law applies in the Arctic just as it does elsewhere in the world. To continue a rule-based order in the Arctic, Norway plays an active role in multilateral fora with Arctic shipping on the agenda, including the IMO and the Arctic Council. My second point is that it is a priority for us that all maritime activity in the Arctic is safe and environmentally sound. Shipping is a climate-friendly mode of transport, but it also leads to emissions. My government firmly believes that by contributing to the development of zero and low-emission technologies for maritime transport, Norway can make an important contribution to the global climate and the Arctic environment. The last point I wish to make is the continued need for international research cooperation. Knowledge is at the heart of Norwegian Arctic policy. Close cooperation and interaction with the scientific community is key for reaching our goals for the region. This is also one of the areas where cooperation between our two countries is the closest. The Republic of Korea and Norway engage in a range of research projects together that are relevant for shipping. These joint studies contribute greatly to our knowledge about the Arctic, including the effects of a warming climate. Dear friends, as I said, many interests meet in the Arctic. We need cooperation between the Arctic states, observer states, indigenous groups, knowledge institutions, and not least the shipping industry. Forums like this seminar plays a great part in fostering such cooperation. Norway greatly appreciates the cooperation with the Republic of Korea on all aspects of Arctic matters. And I would like to thank you all for your engagement, your insights, and for sharing. I wish you a very successful International Arctic Shipping Seminar. Thank you very much. 감사합니다.
예, 대사님의 좋은
Thank you, Ambassador. Now we'd like to take a group photo to commemorate today's seminar. Those who are joining us virtually via Zoom platform, please turn your camera on. And those who are here in person with the nameplate on the table, would you please come forward to the stage?
자, 예, 지금부터 기조발
Now, I would like to move on to the keynote speech. The carrier of Christopher, an operator of Christopher de Marzari, is Sovcomflot of Russia, and this is an opportunity for us to listen to their experiences in operating their vessels in the Arctic Sea. So the title of the presentation is Standard Shipping in the Arctic, Sovcomflot's Experience, and the speaker is Mr. Vladislav Zibo. Please welcome him with a big hand.
Hello? Loud and clear? Cool. My name is Vlad Zibush, and I'm representative of the Sovcomflot. I'm a site team manager at Daewoo Shipbuilding. Currently we have a project of the 3 Arctic 7 LNG vessels. And I would like to briefly represent some information about the Sovcomflot and what we do in the Arctic. Okay? So the Sovcomflot specialized in the marine transportation of the liquefied gas and the other hydrocarbons, as well as servicing the offshore energy production. So we are integrated ship owner and a vessel operator with 134 vessels with 11.65 million tons of the dead weight. Okay, experts in the harsh environmentals. So the world's largest owner and the operator of the class vessel. So 80 vessels at the moment in operation, so there's more than half of the fleet of the Sovcomflot. Focus on the servicing large-scale upstream energy projects. So our key clients is Gazprom, Sakhalin, Energy, Lukoil, Shell, Trafigura, Novatek, ExxonMobil, Vitol, Total Energy, Chevron, BP, Phillips 66, and PetroChina. Headquarters is located in the St. Petersburg, Russia, with offices across Russia as well as in London, Limassol, and Dubai. So, Sovcomflot in the Arctic. So, Sovcomflot has been servicing large energy projects in the Arctic since 2008. So, Sovcomflot's Arctic portfolio today includes 4 ongoing projects: Varendai, Prirazlovnaya, Novi Port, Yamal LNG, with 1 more project scheduled to begin in the 2023 Arctic LNG 2. So the total 11 vessels deployed in Arctic. So 9 crude oil shuttle tankers, 1 ice-breaking LNG carrier and the 1 support vessels, with the further 18 vessels under construction. In 2010, Sovcomflot pioneered using the Nord Stream route for large capacity energy shipping. SKF plays a major part in operation the safe year-round navigation along the full length of the Northern Sea route. So we have some milestones. So 2008, Sovcomflot began transporting crude oil from the Warrendey project at the Barents Sea, 3 shuttle tankers, Arctic 6 class. 2014, SKF began transporting the crude oil from the Prirazlovne project at Barents Sea as well, 2 shuttle tankers, Arctic 6 class. 2016, SKF began transporting crude oil from the Newport project at the Kara Sea, 4 shuttle tankers, Arctic 7 class. 2017, SKF began transporting LNG for the Yamal energy project at the Kara Sea as well, the 1 ice-breaking LNG carrier, Arctic 7 class. And the new project is coming, so the target is 2023. This is the Arctic LNG project as well. It's going to be served in the Kara Sea, so with a total number of the vessels, 18 ice-breaking LNG carriers, Arctic 7 as well. So unlocking the potential of the Northern Sea route 2010-2011. So 2010 and 2011, we completed 2 experimental transit voyages across the Northern Sea route from the Europe to Asia Pacific in a cooperation with Atomflot and the Novatek. So those voyages proved both the technical feasibility and the economic viability of using those routes as a transport corridor for the large-scale energy shipping. During the 2011 voyage, Sovcomflot opens up a completely new deep-water route to the north of the new Siberian Islands archipelago for a commercial shipping as well. So experimental voyages laid the foundation for developing an effective transportation scheme crucial for Yamal LNG and Arctic LNG 2 and other major industrial projects across the Russian Arctic, which are orientated towards Asian Pacific markets. Extending the navigation period along the Northern Sea route 2020 and 2021. Traditionally, the transit navigation along the full length of the Northern Sea route is open from July till November. The most challenging part of the route is the eastern sector, where ice and navigation conditions are the hardest. In 2020 and 2021, Sovcomflot completed 2 experimental transit voyages between Yamal and China, and proved that this window could be extended almost twofold for high ice class vessels. So we've done 2020 early voyage, May eastwards, and a 2021 late voyage, January eastwards, February return voyage westwards. So this is the map. So experimental Rome voyage of the LNG carrier Christopher de Margerie. So Sabetha, Jingsu, Sabetha. So it took us round trip 44 days and 15 hours, including the time spent in the port and the discharge of the cargo. So January, sailing eastwards from Sabetha to Jiangsu, 19 days, 17 hours. Along the NSR, it took us 10 days, 24 hours, 21 hours, sailing independently without the icebreaking assistance. And in February, so sailing westwards from Jiangsu to Sabetha, 23 days, along the Northern Sea route, 11 days, 10 hours with icebreaker escort. So this is the new generation of the LNG carriers for the Arctic. Based on the extensive experience of operation the world's first Arctic LNG carrier, Christopher de Margerie, Sovcomflot, together with Novatek, is creating the new generation of LNG carriers for the Arctic. So 18 vessels under construction, deliveries 2023 and 2025. so 18 vessels. As I mentioned, increased ice-breaking capabilities and the maneuverability in the ice compared to the first generation of the Christopher de Margerie series. So power capacity compatible to icebreaker, 45 megawatts. It's going to be 15 vessels, basically the 15 megawatts each boat, and the 15 megawatts for 3 vessels currently built at Daewoo. So means each boat is 17 megawatts. So ice class Arctic 7, estimated ice breaking performance, 1.5 meter over ice bow forward and a 2.1 meter over ice stern first. So energy transition, sustainability facilitation. Vessels both transport LNG and they use it as a fuel, which allows to reduce the vessel's emissions. So also adopting the lower carbon vessels fuels for Arctic operations. So the IMO organization has banned HE4 from being used in Arctic since 2024, with a possible postponement until 2029. The LNG is promising as the next lower emission fuel for the Arctic vessels. 2018, SKF pioneered the adoption of the LNG as a primary fuel for large capacity tankers shipping worldwide. Our experience proves that using LNG as a primary fuel allows to significantly reduce vessels' emissions, including the CO2 emissions. 2019, SKF pioneered the introduction of the LNG fuel for energy transportation in the Arctic. We have proved that practical feasibility of using LNG as a fuel for the cargo transit across the full length of the Northern Sea route. The key factor for LNG adoption is the availability of bunkering infrastructure. Safety comes first at the Northern Sea route first. It's a very harsh condition, so more than anywhere else, safe navigation in the Arctic relies on the crew skills, experience and the competence. So the SKF heavily invests in personnel training. The Arctic does not forgive haste. Voyage speed limited to what is deemed safe given the navigation and the ice conditions. So the safest and the quickest route is often not the shortest one. Risk assessment, detailed voyage planning and the preparation including analysis and a forecast of the ice conditions, digital solutions for ice conditions, mapping and plotting safe routes and so on and so on. Infrastructure, so the pace of development of the Northern Sea route infrastructure must correspond to the growth of the shipping traffic along the Northern Sea route. Satellites for the ice monitoring and the communications, icebreaker assistance, navigation and hydrographic support, rescue service, etc., etc. Thank you for listening. Okay.
예, 발표 잘 들었.
Thank you very much for your presentation. Thank you very much.